Before I start talking about changes I would make, I should firstly point out that the new season has basically changed a lot about X rank. So when I finish my original script, I'll also have a look into what the developers have changed and I suppose kind of compare it to what I originally envisioned, but what's now in the game, basically. Oh, and also, I would kind of like to also introduce this. So, I don't know what you call this again. I think it's PNG or something like that, but yeah, I'll be trying to mess with this now, so I apologize if it doesn't look great, but I'm going to try and incorporate this somehow into how I do videos, I guess. I think it's fair to say that the state of both X Rank and Anarchy are interesting. I would like to give a few points that I would like to see either reworked or changed. Not with the individual game modes, however the system that allows us to play the modes. I think a good place to begin with is Anarchy series. I think it's fitting to begin with the mode that came out with Splatoon 3 at launch. With Anarchy series, I would just like to say that I think the system the developers have created is pretty good. I would even argue that I enjoy it more than Splatoon 2's ranked system. The only two places where I would create an adjustment would be the point system and the weapons. Now, I really like how it gives points on how you perform in a match, however, when you reach S or S+, it isn't enough. When you wager 170 points and for example you only get roughly 300 points back, you in reality only get 130 points, and since you have to wager another 170 points, the climb is very slow, especially when you're trying to get back to X rank. I understand that it is like that so people can grind to S plus 50, though the points should be increased. The other change that I would make would be allowing players to be able to change their weapon after a match. I'm honestly surprised that series still doesn't have this option and Anarchy Open does. Now I do believe that's basically all that I would change for series, and I suppose we're off to Open now. Now to say Anarchy Open is a bit of a mess is an understatement in my opinion. Before I go into what I'd change, I have to go over everything that I see wrong with Open. Number 1, the fact you can play solo while being paired against a full team. Number 2, it is a replacement of what League Battle was in Splatoon 2. Number 3, it wants to be an unranked mode while also making you gain and lose points, which does not make it an unranked mode. Number 4, there technically is no leaderboard, and what we do have is really badly designed as it gives medals off of top 5% and etc. And lastly, number 5, you have literally no other options if you want to play in a more competitive environment with friends or in a casual one, meaning that you'll either be fighting full teams or some random people playing together casually. I hope that shows the issues that this mode contains. Now, I believe that the only way of fixing this mode would be this. We would have to completely remake what Open was supposed to be. Firstly, I know what I'm about to say is not going to be taken well, however I don't see much of a way around it. Due to the fact most of us consider Open as an unranked mode, we need to acknowledge that if you play with your friends against people who are not, I personally believe that the only way to do this is that solo and duo should be the only ones able to play it. It will even out the teams and you will have more equal matches as not all of the team is communicating. The power system will be removed too, as this is unranked. As to the leaderboard system, as we won't need it due to there not being any power system. These are the main changes I would make to Open. Now you're probably commenting that this is so stupid, how will I play with my friends? To that, I'll tell you. Yep, I would like to see League battles added back, as this would help those that want to play with each other in a squad. Now, I personally believe that if Nintendo just ported League from Splatoon 2 into Splatoon 3, I'd be pretty satisfied with that, as you'd have two options, duos and squads. If Nintendo wanted to do something even more crazy, what if there was a 3v3 mode? They did it for challenges with duos, so it's not out of the picture when you think about it. Anyhow, to the power system. I would keep what's in X rank to keep it consistent. Like, you know, in X rank you'd win 3 battles to get points, and if you lose 3, you lose points. The point system in Splatoon 2 isn't bad, though I think it should be similar to the new ranking system that we have in Splatoon 3. Also, I'd bring back the leaderboard from Splatoon 2. You know how Splatfest and challenges have a leaderboard and you can access it on the Splatnet app? Well, League in Splatoon 2 also had it. For every rotation it had. and it was also accessible from the game itself, not on the Splatoon app that you can only see the leaderboards only by the app. However, I do believe there might be a need for the division system in League battles if it were to be brought over into Splatoon 3, as the skill gap between the Tentatek and Takaroka divisions would be quite large, with also the connection issues on top of that too. Now I believe that's pretty much all, and off to X rank now. With X rank, my main changes are probably going to be my most extreme, probably not as much as Anarchy Open, however, maybe at that same level of extreme. To make X rank the more competitive mode of Splatoon 3, I'll be changing how you keep X rank after the season ends. If you fail to get to top 3000 in any one of the modes in X rank, you'll lose your X rank. Anyone who got into top 3000 keeps their X rank. Now, I'll say it again, you'll only need to get top 3000 in one of the 4 modes to keep it. This is to prevent many people who performed well from being ranked down, as your Anarchy ranking should not affect your position in another mode. Continuing how we get X rank, you should unlock it when you reach S+10 once in Anarchy series. Keeping it is like how I stated in the section above. Also, since the change in point system, like I said in Anarchy series, it won't be extremely long to get it back. X rank in general is sort of in a difficult place to fix, as there are 2 regions, Tentatek and Takaroka divisions. Many players from the Tentatek division have moved over to the Takaroka division, as the player numbers are higher over there. To fix the player numbers, I feel like the decision to rework the division system may need to be looked into. I and many other players who are playing in the Tentatek division have definitely experienced long periods of time where for maybe 20 to 30 minutes, no one would get into a match. And if we look at this from an outside perspective, that is not very good, since you cannot really even play the game basically for long periods of time because no one is online in that division. Which leads into another thing that I think might need to be reworked. I personally really like that you can play X rank and Anarchy series separately. However, the time has come to look into the issues of this. I feel that when you reach S+10, you'll have to be given the decision to continue with series or choose X rank. Only one mode would be available to play. The player base is split into many of these modes: Turf War, Anarchy series, Open, and X rank now, even with challenges that happen occasionally. To fix the issue, the choice to play what mode you'd want will have to be taken away. This is not something I personally want, and I like more choices. However, it is difficult not to acknowledge the player numbers and what difficulties it has brought. Now I do suppose this is the end of the video, so I suppose if you have any interests and want to give your opinion on it, comment if you like what I envision these modes could be, or do you like what the devs have currently changed right now? So thank you for watching, and I guess I'll see you in the next one.